Okay, guys, here's the way this activity works. So the question is, what's going on in this equation? What is going on here? All right? And you've got this page right here, this Google Doc, which I'll need you to fill out. And it's just a table that has various icons on the left. You're like, what are those about? Don't worry, I'll tell you in a sec. And then your answer goes here to the question that's related to that icon. And the appropriate units need to be recorded on the far right-hand column. Okay, now what are we talking about? All right, well, it's related to this right here, this link that says thing link, card number, da 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 da. Okay, so click that. It'll take you to this, one of my favorite websites on the entire internet called thinglink.com. Now, if I push play, I can see bing, bang, boom. All right, I've even got a little soundtrack in the background in case
R
you guys
all
want to
represent
hear
is to
how this
figure
goes.
out
Okay,
a
and this is my voice
reasonable
explaining to you what we're
F
looking at.
equals G times the quantity.
Since I'm already talking to you, I'm not going to play the thing link audio. I'm just going to talk to you, continuing to voice over here. This is a very important formula in all of science. Why don't you guys ultimately identify what that formula is for me? But I'm not going to tell you off the top of the bat, off the top of the game, because I want you to know. I don't want to give away any of the questions, okay? So the question, the whole thing is called, what's going on in this equation? Okay, so now click on each of these, all right? And that first icon says, what does this variable represent? Now, I realize that you may not know the answer to that, okay? But I'd like you to give me your best reasonable, logical, rational description of what you think this formula means or represents, okay? These letters here, F, G, M, you got an R squared there, so that says this one is a variable. I'm giving you a clue. Oh, okay, a variable. So it's not a, what's that other option? Constant. So since it's a variable and not a constant, that's interesting. That's useful to know. That means that this needs to be able to change from situation to situation in order for the formula to be applied in a useful way. And there's a clue there that says R is almost always this. Okay, so every time you see a formula, an R pops up, it's almost always this. And the answer is not radishes, right? Okay, so then I'm asking you here, it says, tell me something about the exponent. Okay, so obviously it's a 2. Don't just say that, but you're noticing that the R is being squared. So does that remind you of something? Does that mean anything to you? Or what? All right, and then I've got a few questions over here. This one is the icon, which is a house. It says, is this a rational function? How do you know? Okay, we looked at rational functions last quarter. What was our definition of what a rational function is, and does this qualify? And then there's a heart icon, and it just says, could you graph this? If so, what would you label the horizontal axis and the vertical axis? Right, I've got a little brain break for you here with just some fun animal questions, and then up there is that's your brain break, those two pluses. But I'd like you to take a look at these. Why do you have two M's up here? What do you think? Why would we need an M sub 1 and an M sub 2? Why would we be dealing necessarily with more than one thing on the numerator? So all these things might hopefully lead you to some kind of reasonable description to what this might apply to. If you're way off, that's fine. What I'm looking for is for you to construct a viable argument, a reasonable, defensible position that you have some sort of ability to support with an argument and evidence, examples, reasons. So, principles, axioms, postulates, laws. So, that's the goal here. And have fun, okay? Remember, this comes back to the matrix that I showed you at the beginning, which is what you're going to be filling out and uploading into Google Classroom. Thank you. Let me know. I'm always here for your help.